Good morning, guys. I know you haven't seen my face since my last video, which feels like forever ago, but yeah, I'm in my car about to run some errands and meeting up with my new landlord to give him some money for the background check and talk to him about like when I can start moving my crap in. Dude, guys, oh my god, you have no freaking idea how ready I am to just leave. It's gotten crazy. It has gotten so bad between me and her, and honest to God, when I moved here last July, if you had asked me if I thought like any of this would have happened, I would have said hell no. Like, I thought my roommate was awesome and she helped me out a ton. Like, I was having some financial difficulties, so she was like helping me pay the bills and all this other stuff, and like helping me with food because I had to pay a security deposit that I wasn't expecting and blah blah blah. But like, I paid her all that money back like slowly, and I think like in December I finally finished, like right before I got sick. I paid her back completely, so like I don't owe her any money or whatever, and like things were fine for a really long time. And like I said in my like life update, I'm moving out video, I was like explaining how, you know, when you have two people with like mental disorders living in the same household, you know, some stuff can go down. And you know, honestly, like, I hold my hands up to everything that I've done and said that was stupid or like might have hurt her feelings or whatever, because like I'm not gonna sit here and play the victim card and act like, you know, I never did anything wrong and my roommate's psychotic and blah 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 blah, oh poor me, I'm such a victim, and you know, stuff like that. Like, I don't do stuff like that. And I've been biting my tongue for so long, just white knuckling it through this month, trying not to tell you guys or anybody else about the crap that has been happening. And it's literally driving me insane. Like, I don't even know where to start, honestly, but I'm just so ready to freaking leave. I'm so done living with her and just feeling like crap constantly. Like, she's been making it a point to make me feel like absolute crap and to make me feel insane and out of my mind and all this other stuff. And it blows my mind because I've never done or said anything that she's been saying or doing to me, like, to her. And I wasn't gonna talk about anything. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna pack my crap. I mean, most, like, 90 to 95% of my crap is already in boxes. I just need to get permission to start moving stuff in. But something happened the other night that just kind of pushed me to my limit. It's been going down. Things have been getting a bit crazy. And I was gonna keep my mouth shut about everything, but then I guess a couple weeks ago I heard from a couple of my co-managers that she's been going out of her way. She only works at McDonald's one day a week, on a Saturday, and that's usually the shift that I run. And I found out from a couple of my co-managers that when I leave, like when I'm done with my shift and I leave, that she's been talking shit about me behind my back at work. Professional, right? So I was already really pissed about that, but I kind of figured, you know what? Clearly, these people know that what she's saying is lies, or at least stretching the truth majorly. And that's the reason that they told me, because clearly they don't believe her, which is good, but I know there's going to be a few people that like her better than me. But like, why would you bring our drama to work and trying to ruin my reputation at work? Like, I never said anything at all to anybody at work other than me and my roommate just aren't seeing eye to eye anymore. We're not getting along anymore, so I'm moving. That was the extent of what I said, because I just don't believe in bringing that kind of crap into work just to find out that she's talking shit and trying to like come across as this victim with a psychotic roommate. And so I was already pissed off about that, but I didn't say anything. Like, I never, even to this day right now, she doesn't know that I know. But I'm actually, like, afraid of her at this point because of something that happened the other night. But, you know, I'm moving out, and I agreed to move out, and I'm doing everything in my power to move out and, like, just make sure there's no more drama. But it's become very evident to me that any kind of, like, trying to have an adult, mature discussion with her blows up into a psychotic, crazy bullshit fight. And I'll get into that later. I gotta start running some errands, but I'll make sure that I start catching up on you guys on everything that's been going down. Alright, so I got about an hour before I meet up with my roommate, or not my roommate, my landlord. The reason I said my roommate is because after I cashed my check, I went to go get something to eat, and my phone just blows up with these angry text messages. But I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so from what I can remember, I last left off saying that I found out that she was talking crap about me behind my back, which I didn't really understand because it's at work. And I didn't confront her about that. I didn't say anything about that because I knew it was just going to cause, like, an even bigger argument. I'm going to see if I can. Sorry if it's sideways. I'm at Leif Erikson Park, just parked here for about an hour before I meet up with my new landlord. Because I don't want to be anywhere near my house right now because my roommate just, I don't know, I don't want to call her names or anything like that, but she's clearly very angry. And so, yeah, I kept my mouth shut about that. The only person who really knows about that is a guy that I'm talking to right now named Donovan, and my friend Ben, which you've seen on my channel. He's, like, I basically tell him everything that's been going on and send him, like, screenshots and stuff so he knows I'm not lying. So after that, I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. There's no reason bringing this up, you know, causing some huge thing at work. And freaking, like, 2 or 3 days ago, I think it was. Yeah, because today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday night. Tuesday night? Or was it Monday night? I think it might have been Monday night into Tuesday. It was, like, super freaking late. And she was, like, starting to get ready for work or whatever, and I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I figured I'm gonna try to apologize. Like, I'm moving soon. I know that there's already bad blood. She has her opinion of me, which is fine. It's her opinion. It's her right to feel and think, you know, however she wants. And so I knock on her door, and she answers it. And she just looks pissed to begin with. She's like, what do you want? And I just was like, I'm moving soon, and, you know, I just want to say I'm sorry for anything that I've said or done to upset you. Boom. Like a freaking rocket launcher, she just goes off on me. Just yelling at me, calling me all these horrible names, and saying that she doesn't want to hear it, and blah, 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 blah. And so I'm just in shock. Because, like, all I literally did was apologize, and she just, like, blew up on me and was calling me all these horrible names, saying that I was crazy, out of my mind, that I need help, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there like, what? And so she slams her door on my face, and I was like, okay, well, clearly that was not such a hot idea. And so I go back in my room and I lock my door because I already know that I've pissed her off and I don't want her just barging into my room and causing an argument. And she starts blowing up my Facebook and continuing on with her rant about how I'm such a scary, horrible, dangerous person, that I'm out of my mind, that I need help. And, like, there were a few things that I told her in confidentiality when I first moved in where I'm moving, and she literally, like, threw it all back in my face. I don't know if I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. It's not a secret, but, like, when me and Nick first broke up, I went on a bender, and I was drinking, like, every day for, like, 2 months. I was a horrible mess. I couldn't even recognize myself at the end of it. And, like, she throws it back in my face saying that I'm, like, this huge alcoholic that needs help. And in my head, I'm thinking, what in God's name is she talking about? Because have I drank at this apartment? Yeah, I have. Like, it was my apartment too, and I didn't really see the big flippin' issue about drinking. Like, never got overboard, never got crazy, never went after her. Which, you know, kind of goes back to my video of me, like, saying that I was initially moving out, of not understanding where her being afraid of me came from. Because even on, like, the nights where I, you know, had one too many, I would always, like, whenever I would drink or whatever, I would be in my room and I would lock my door. I would go out to the kitchen to, like, eat or go to the bathroom or something like that. And, you know, there were nights where I was having a really, really bad night. So, you know, you get a little buzz and some tears come out or whatever. But, like, and I guess she heard me crying or something. I don't know. But apparently she put 2 and 2 together that I'm this. And, of course, it's no secret that I have depression and anxiety. And sometimes when you mix that with alcohol, you get a little emotional. But usually I'd be, like, crying over the phone to Ben, just venting. And, you know, yeah, granted, I probably did get a little bit too loud, like, venting-wise and whatever. But, like, I never would be out of my room acting like that because I didn't find it appropriate. And so even when I was drunk, I still tried to contain it in my room. And I never went after her. I never yelled at her. I never cursed at her. I never threatened her. Anything like that. And, you know, the only things that I can think of were, like, the couple times that I had a panic attack in front of her. And, you know, I learned to stop doing that. Like, if I was going to have a panic attack or whatever, I would just lock myself in my room. Again, there's a sort of a key thing there with me locking myself in my room to stay away from my roommate. And so just, like, having that thrown back in my face and, like, being painted as this horrible, out of control, psychotic, dangerous, which I don't even know where dangerous came from because I've never broken anything. I've never went after her. I've never, like, yelled in her face. I've never called her names. I never belligerently sent her any messages over Facebook, even when I was drunk. So it's like, I don't know where the dangerous thing came from. I think that's just her own personal anxiety and her twisting my behavior into, you know, I'm gonna attack her or something. I don't know. I'm not in her head. I have no freaking idea. And so she's, like, saying all this to me over Messenger, and, like, I would have screenshot all of it, but right after she got done sending me, like, these 2 big paragraphs just jumping down my throat and coming out of my ass, just blocks me on Facebook. So not only can I not retrieve those messages or screenshot them as evidence, I couldn't even defend myself. I couldn't reply to her. I couldn't say anything back. I couldn't try to have a conversation with her whatsoever. And all of this happened because I said I was sorry. All of it happened because I tried to apologize. And so I called Ben up at, like, 2 in the... Well, not, it wasn't quite 2 in the morning at that point. I think it was, like, 1:30 maybe. I'm not sure. Bawling my fucking eyes out. Like, I'm just shaking, bawling my eyes out. I'm so upset. It was, like, almost borderline panic attack, but it was more of, like, my feelings were hurt, and I was just slack-jawed in awe about everything that I was reading. And so he talked to me on the phone for a little bit, and I just made the decision, I need to get the fuck out of the house. Like, I know it's late, but, like, I can't be here. Like, I don't feel safe. Like, I don't know if she's gonna try to come to my room and start another argument or whatever. So I think it's just a good idea to leave the house. And I go to work, just totally upset, and I figure the best thing to get my mind off of it is doing something work related. So I go ahead and I start working on my setup for Saturday because I run the close this Saturday. And my friend Sam's there, and I was messaging him about the situation, and once I get there, even though he was working, he kept coming into the office and like giving me hugs and trying to comfort me, and I was just bawling my eyes out like a blubbering little baby. And eventually, I think around like 2:30, I'm like, okay, Liz, you got to get your crap together. Like, suck it up, calm down. You need to go home. It's super freaking late. But like, my roommate leaves the house around like 3 in the morning. And I didn't really want to like come home right in the middle of her getting ready, because again, I didn't know what she was going to do at that point. Like, if apologizing made her blow up like that, who knows what would have happened if I walked in the house. So I go in my room, and there's a note attached to my trash can, which I took a screenshot of before I threw it away, that was saying if her cat Phoenix ends up in my room and like eating something out of my trash can and gets sick, that I will pay for the emergency vet bill. And at first I'm thinking like I'm exhausted, I'm upset, like my anxiety's still going, so it took me a minute, but I was like, you know, what the hell, like there's nothing in my trash can that the cat would get into, and I pretty much make it a point to keep her cat out of my room, for those specific reasons, because I don't want to be responsible for something like that. And then it hit me. She waited till I left the house, and she went into my room without my permission and left that note. And then the second thought hits me, why the hell was she in my room? Why did she want to go in my room? And then I just got angry, and I did end up yelling, and I wanted it to be loud enough that she heard me, and I just yelled, there is no fucking privacy in this place, because I was livid. Not once have I ever gone into her room without her knowing about it, without her permission, anything like that. There's nothing in her room that I want. I'm not interested in going into her room. I have never gone into her room without her permission or without her knowing about it. And even since, like, things started remotely going bad, I've never ever been in her room, just because, you know, it's kind of obvious I don't want there to be an issue. And I've been trying to go out of my way to prevent issues, and they just keep popping up. And then the third thought hit me of, if she went into my room while I wasn't home and left that note, how many other times while I was at a friend's house, while I was at work, while I was just doing whatever, how many other times has she gone snooping around in my room? And what does she want with being in my room? Like, there's no reason. I have nothing of hers in my room. I have nothing I'm trying to hide. Like, there is nothing in my room that she needs to be in there for. And so I'm thinking, how many other times has she gone in my room while I was at work? And like, why is she in there? Did she take something? And like, 95% of my stuff is in boxes, so I won't know if she took anything until I move into this other apartment and start unpacking my junk. I'm gonna have no idea. And so I was already mad about that, because it's just invasion of privacy. Like, why would you go in somebody else's room? And so at that point, I'm just absolutely exhausted. So I'm like, screw it. Like, I'm just gonna go to bed and try to get some sleep. And I wake up the next day, still feeling anxious, still having no freaking idea, like, what's gonna happen. And, you know, so I'm just going about my business in the morning, and I had this thought, you know what, like, I'm gonna try to make it a point that she doesn't have to go in my room for any reason whatsoever by never leaving my door open. So I took all of my cat stuff, including their litter boxes, and put them in my room. And I removed all the garbage from my room and threw it outside in the trash cans outside. You know, just trying to clean up after myself, you know, and leave no fuel for the fire, I guess. Which didn't work according to today, but I'll get into that. And while I'm moving the litter boxes around, I decided, maybe I'll put one back. Like, maybe I'm being too paranoid. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, you know, so I'll just leave one in my room for, like, when I'm home, or I have my cat sleeping with me at night when my door is closed so they have a way to go to the bathroom. That was my logic. And because she blocks me on Facebook, she sends me a text message. I'm going to try to find it here, just so I don't, like, mix her words up or anything like that. She says, Tuesday at 9:39 a.m. She doesn't get home till 10:30, 11 usually, sometimes 11:30. I would actually prefer that you keep both of your litter boxes in your room until you move out. That would be much better. Feel free to move any of your other mess into your room. So then the thought hits me, first of all, trash. I don't know what she's talking about when it comes to trash. The only other things that I own that are outside of my room are, like, my bathroom utilities, like, you know, my soap, my hair products, my makeup products, but, like, all that has its place, so I wouldn't really consider that trash, and, you know, that kind of stuff belongs in a bathroom. And, like, my dishes, you know, like, my dish holder, the dishes that are in the drawer, my bowls and plates and cups that are in the cupboard, you know, I'm not going to take all of that into my room, and my coffee pot. But, like, I don't consider that trash, but apparently to her, my personal possessions are trash. But then it hit me because my roommate has 3 cameras in the house. One in the kitchen facing the back door. One in the living room that's facing, like, my door towards the front door. And one in her room so she can watch her dogs. And, like, I already knew about the cameras and stuff like that because she had issues with, like, previous roommate, like, staging a break-in, and she was paranoid that, like, that person was, like, sneaking into the house or whatever, and she wants to keep track of her dogs and stuff like that. But then it hit me that she's been using those cameras to spy on me whenever I'm in the kitchen, whenever I'm leaving or coming home, whenever I leave my room in general. And so I'm just like, okay, so not only is she going into my room when I'm not home, doing God knows what, snooping around for God knows what, she's now spying on me on the cameras. And yet she's the one saying that I'm out of my mind, that I'm psychotic, that I'm dangerous, that she can't trust me. Like, I'm becoming kind of speechless because, like, it makes me angry reiterating this story. But I haven't vlogged in a while, and it's just been driving me insane. And, like, all this stuff, and, like, a bunch of other little things in the past. There's, like, past concerns, conversations, small arguments, you know, stuff that, like, I do that she doesn't like or whatever. And just on a side note, whenever we would have a conversation about, like, chores and responsibilities around the house, she would say what she wanted to say, but then as soon as I would try to say anything regarding stuff that she does that I don't like, such as leaving the stovetop on for who knows how long, I've at least come home on 3 separate occasions where she's fast asleep in her room in bed, and one of the burners on the stovetop will be left on, and I think at least 2 of the times, one of the oven mitts has also been on top of the stove while one of the burners were on. So I'm like, fire hazard much. But, like, anytime I would bring up anything like that, or, you know, any of my concerns with, like, responsibilities around the house, she would take it as a personal attack and just yell at me and freak out at me. So it's like she's the only one that can throw names, that can freak out, that can yell, that can curse, that can be angry. And I'm just supposed to, like, hold my hands up, roll over, and not defend myself. And I mean, I don't like fights in general, so that's kind of usually my reaction, unless it's something, like, super, super serious. Then I will defend myself. And it's just keeping my mouth shut this whole time, like, not fighting back with her, not arguing back with her, just trying to apologize and having that thrown back in my face, having every single thing that I've ever confided in her with thrown back in my face, having her go into my room and leave passive-aggressive little notes and sending me stupid, angry text messages, which I've been trying to respond to as maturely and as calm as I can because I don't want to fuel the fire or give her any reason to, like, misconstrued anything that I'm saying over a text message. So I've been trying to be careful with that. She's making me feel crazy. Like, she's legitimately making me feel like I am going insane. And, you know, like I said, I hold my hands up to everything that I've ever done. I am sure that I have said stupid stuff and I've done stupid stuff around her. I know I've never done anything, like, to her. And I know I've never said anything to her personally, like, that would make her think that I'm some psychotic, dangerous person. But, like, I'm sure, you know, maybe she heard me venting on the phone to my friend Ben, and, like, when I get angry, I can say some stupid stuff, but, like, maybe she overheard that and, you know, thinks that I'm crazy or whatever. And, like, from my panic attacks in front of her, you know, stuff like that. But it's like, she's not an angel either. And so it's like, she's literally playing this big fat victim card, making me seem like the worst possible person she's ever met in her entire goddamn life. And I'm sitting here in real life just keeping my mouth shut. And it is driving me insane. It is driving me insane. But I know if saying sorry caused that big of a firework argument, I don't know what would happen if I tried to bring up any of this to her, even in a calm way. Like, I feel like it would just make things 10 times worse, and she would call the cops on me or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I move the other litter box into my room, and out of the corner of my eye, I see another note on the space heater. Now, it's, you know, it just started warming up here in Duluth, but my room gets so much colder than her room. It just doesn't have good insulation. I'm still sleeping with my polyester wool blanket in my room because it gets cold at night. And so for a while, for the winter, I was borrowing the space heater until we started having weather like this, just to keep my room a normal freaking temperature. And, like, I look out of the corner of my eye and there is another passive-aggressive sticky note attached to the space heater, which I took a picture of, so I do have proof, saying something along the lines that, no, you don't need to use this unless it's below 0. Which, first of all, why do you care if I use the space heater? I pay for my half of the bills in full, on time, every month. So if I'm using the space heater, it's coming out of my paycheck. So I don't understand how it's an issue if I want to keep my room at a reasonable temperature so I'm not freezing. And also, why does it have to be below 0? If it gets 30, you know, like 30 degrees, or, you know, even if it's like 40 degrees, I mean, I can tolerate, I guess, 40 degrees, but like anything below that, it gets pretty cold in my room, and, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to catch a cold. You know, I work every single freaking day. I can't afford to be sick because I spent several nights in my freezing-ass room. But again, the whole passive-aggressive bullshit thing pisses me off. Like, how hard would it have been for her to just, you know, come to me before she's leaving for work, or, like, when she comes home from work and being like, hey, I don't want you using the space heater anymore because of blah, 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 blah. I may not like it, but it would be easier to say, okay, fine, whatever. Same with the garbage. First of all, again, why are you in my fucking room, especially when I'm not there and I've never been in your room without your permission? That's what I don't fucking understand. And it pisses me off. Anyway, so at this point now, which is just, like, been over the last week, like, anything that doesn't have to do with, like, my dishes or my bathroom utilities are in my room. And my cats are in my room. They have their big old water bowl. You know, they always have food in their bowl when I'm home. They have both of their litter boxes, which I've been maintaining. Obviously, now that they're in my room, I have to keep an eye on it more so. And, you know, they have all their toys in there and stuff like that. So they're comfortable. They're fine. I'm sure they don't enjoy being locked in my room. But, like, I don't know what else to do at this point. I have done my best to minimalize my presence in that house. And it is still not freaking good enough. Which leads up to today. So it's payday. I'm meeting up with my landlord in about half an hour. And I needed to go get gas for one thing, which I did. Went up to work, grabbed my paycheck, go to the bank, cash my check. And I'm about to go get some breakfast. And so I pull up to Starbucks. And I get a text message from her. Where was it? Oh, yeah. At 10:10 a.m. this morning, she sends me a picture of the recycling bin and says, "This is clearly your trash in the bottom of our outside recycling bin. If it's not cleaned up by tomorrow, I'm going to relocate it back into your room." Is that mature? Like, is there a part of that sentence that sounds like somebody who's 30 years old? No, not really. And from what I can tell, and like I already cleaned it up, a lot of this stuff is recyclable. But you know what? My bad. I was in a panic when I cleared out my trash can, so like maybe I missed some stuff. And I said, should I put it in a plastic bag in there? She just goes all off on me. Big long text message about the trash in the bins and she's like, "I'm beyond angry that I would even have to explain this to you." And something about me asking for further clarification, which I'm assuming she's talking about me asking her if it would be better if I just put all of that in like an actual bag in the trash. And I was like, and I replied, "Well, I will make it a point today before work to separate the garbage." She said, "Make it a point to take personal responsibility for not just this mess, but all of your fucking messes that you create." Again, what messes? What messes is she talking about? I don't know if it's a metaphor for like my personal relationship with her, or if there's garbage in the house that I'm clearly blind to because I have no idea what she's talking about. So I went back home before I came here and I got a couple bags and I tipped over the recycling bin and I got all the stuff that didn't look recyclable, that I thought was recyclable, but apparently it's not. So I put all the stuff in bags and threw it in the actual trash bin. So I cleaned that up and I left the house and I came here. But I don't understand, again, why a 30-year-old who's apparently so put together, so responsible, doesn't have any kind of problems whatsoever, is in total control of her mental disorders, responds to me like that when I just said, "Hey, okay, fine, I'll make it a point to separate the garbage before work," which I did. And yet, again, reiterating the point again, somehow I'm the one that is out of my mind. I'm the crazy one. I'm the one that needs help. I'm the one that's dangerous. I'm the one that can't be trusted, even though she's the one going into my room when I'm not home for who knows how many times and leaving passive-aggressive notes, blows the hell up on me when all I do is try to apologize, and then sends me angry text messages about every little thing that I do that's wrong. You know, like, okay, yes, maybe some of that stuff wasn't recyclable, but all you have to do is say, "Hey, you need to separate the garbage in the recycling bin. Some of this stuff isn't recyclable." That's all you had to do. And I would have still responded the same way. "Well, I will make it a point before work to do it." And it's just like, I cannot have a calm, civil conversation with her. She's just like on a level 10 rage fit, and there is nothing I can do about it. And it's like, for all I know, she's home right now going through my stuff in my room. Again, not that I'm hiding anything. I have nothing to hide in my room. My door is closed. So there is no reason whatsoever for her to be in my room. And I'm done. I am so fucking done with this whole thing. There's absolutely no reason for her to be acting like this towards me, especially now. All because I tried to apologize for anything that I might have said or done to make her feel this way. All this has sprouted because of it, and I don't understand why. And now I'm purposely avoiding going to my own fucking apartment, which I pay equally as much for, and my stuff is there, and my cats are there, because I don't want to run into her and have her blow up on me for something else, or just simply being there. Because at this point, I have no idea how she's going to react to just seeing my face. I wouldn't doubt it if she walked up to me and tried to punch me in the face. At this point, she is so unpredictable, I have no idea. So I'm exhausted, I'm angry, I'm just slack-jawed in awe from this entire situation. I don't know what to do at this point. Like, obviously moving's the best option, and I'm really trying to get a roll on that, which is why in like 20 minutes I'm meeting up with my landlord to discuss, you know, when can I move in? Like, when can I start moving my stuff and getting the hell out of there? Like, I don't feel safe. I don't. Like, I sleep with my door locked. And when I'm awake in my room, when it's just me, my cats, my door is locked. Because I don't trust her. Ugh. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm exhausted. I'm angry. I'm upset. I don't know. I just felt like I really needed to go ahead and try to get as much of it out of my system, because I needed some way to vent and calm down. I don't even know when you guys are going to see this, because once I do move into my apartment, I won't have internet until, like, I'm more financially stable. Ugh. My anxiety's been the worst thing. Like, right now I'm tapping my foot relentlessly because I'm just like, I just don't know. This is crazy. Like, this is, honest to God, the craziest situation I've ever been in my life. And I don't know what to do other than leave. And I've got such a big day ahead of me too, because after I meet up with my landlord, I'm going to talk to him for a while, try to discuss stuff with him. I got to go back to work to finish my setup for Saturday, because I run Saturday. And the crappy part about that is, that's the one day a fucking week where I have to run the shift, and she's going to be there. And again, I know I'm going to find myself just keeping my mouth shut and not saying anything and pretending like everything's fine at work, because I'm trying my best to keep the situation out of work, but she doesn't give a fuck. She really doesn't care. Like, she doesn't care. So she talks crap about me to my coworkers, to my employees, to my co-managers, which thankfully, for the fact that they have told me, several of them have told me, and some of them are like, yeah, I'm not surprised that she's saying this stuff. So clearly they know me better than that. Thank God, because it's a professional work environment, and I'm going to be damned if she ruins my manager reputation because she wants to play the victim card and make people hate me. Ugh. I don't know. You know, I think that's all I'm going to explain to you guys for now. I need to try to calm down before I meet up with my new landlord. And just... I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to mention one more thing. Oh, God. What was it? Oh, yeah. Like, all of this stuff that is, like, going on between me and her, that she's saying to me, that she's doing to me. When I first moved in here, and I should have saw it as a red flag, but again, I didn't. Apparently, I have a really hard time seeing red flags, and when I do, I have a hard time believing them, because I don't like to believe that, you know, people that I trust would ever do stuff like this to me. You know, like with my ex and now her. the story that I'm telling you eerily matches up to the story she told me about her last set of roommates. A lot of the stuff that she's saying to me, she said to them. A lot of the stuff that she's doing to me, that when she told me the story was just out of like self-defense, she's doing to me. And it's just going to show that, okay, there's a common denominator here between her and her experience with her roommates, and that is her. And I have no like proof of, you know, what she told me about her past roommates, because this was like when I first moved in and me and her were cool. So it's just like, this isn't just something that's happening with me. Apparently it's happened with other roommates that she's had in her life. And so it kind of gives me the comfort that, like, okay, so it wasn't just me, that this is kind of just something that happens when people move in with her. And just, I don't know. And recently, on top of all of this junk, I'm trying to quit smoking, out of all things. I'm trying again to quit smoking cigarettes, so I went back to my vape, which has been helping. It really has. Like, it's making the withdrawals and like not thinking about cigarettes a lot easier. Plus, I was just, with me going to the gym and stuff, it's kind of a contradiction to like run on the treadmill for 15 minutes and get a good workout in and then hop in my car and smoke a cigarette. It just doesn't really make sense. And I'm sick of smelling like cigarettes. It just doesn't make me feel good anymore. Like, I'm getting to the point of smoking where like I smoke and I just feel like bleh. So I'm trying to quit, out of all things, right now when like my life is at its most hectic and stressful. But yeah, I just thought I'd include that. I'm trying not to leave anything out here. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer again that I'm not trying to play the victim. I'm not saying that I never said anything wrong. I'm not saying that I never did anything wrong. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I didn't do anything wrong, I'm totally perfect, blah, 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 my roommate's a psycho. Like, I'm not trying to say any of that. And I'm just telling you from my point of view, my experience, and that's the other disclaimer. There are two sides to every story, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. You know, unless the other person is consistently lying, then it's probably 3/4 one side and like 1/4 the other side. But regardless, I'm not saying believe me 110%. You know, like, obviously she can't and probably will not tell her side of the story out in public. The only thing I know is that she's saying the exact same thing that she's been saying to me, like the whole being crazy, can't be trusted, dangerous, blah, 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 blah. I heard her talking on the phone like a week ago to somebody on, I don't know if it was a friend or whatever, or like a family member, but she was saying the exact same stuff to them that she's been saying to me at work and that she's been passive-aggressively sending me messages about. So apparently that is her side of the story. Apparently I'm some major alcoholic that can't be trusted. I'm a total mess. I need professional psychiatric help, and I'm dangerous and all this other stuff. Apparently that is really her side of the story. And I just, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't. I got about 13 minutes before I meet up with my landlord, so I'm gonna go.